Hey everybody, welcome back to The Vegan View. Today we're going to be doing some holiday cocktails, and then afterwards we're going to have a Q&A, so stick around for that, but roll the footage of some delicious, delectable alcoholic treats.
Hey guys, it's Nicole, and for my cocktail I decided to do one that I found on Camilla Stiles' blog called Bottoms Up Pear and Thyme Fizz. This is a pear, thyme, and apple infused champagne cocktail, and it's very easy to make and super festive. So I'm going to start by making a concoction of apple juice and some orange liqueur. She said to use a pitcher. I didn't have a big pitcher, so I just did a mason jar. And to that I'm going to add some very thinly sliced pear. If you slice it nice and thin, it will be able to infuse the liqueur and apple juice with that pear flavor a lot better. Then I added some fresh thyme, and anytime you're using herbs in a recipe, if you kind of squeeze them up a little bit, they will be even more flavorful and aromatic. This is a great one to make for the holidays because you do this ahead of time. It just hangs out in the fridge, and then when it's ready and when you're ready, you just pour it into a champagne glass and then add some champagne or sparkling wine on top, and it's ready to serve. I think it looks really pretty if you garnish it with thyme or some of the pear slices from earlier, but it's harder to drink with a little sprig of thyme in it, so I always remove it. But I think for the sake of a photo, or if you want it to look fancy, a little sprig of thyme is nice. Enjoy!
Hey everyone, it's Hannah, and for my cocktail, I'm making a sparkling pomegranate and rosemary gin cocktail. You're going to start out with a 1/4 cup of gin, add 2 tablespoons of pomegranate juice, and then you're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of rosemary infused simple syrup. I'll leave the recipe below. Then you're gonna squeeze in some lemon juice, about 1 tablespoon, and then you're going to shake it all up in a mixer with some ice. This cocktail is so light, refreshing, and super easy to make, and it has that just tiny hint of holiday flavor to it. Then you're gonna pour it over ice and top it off with a little bit of club soda, and add a small spoonful of pomegranate seeds to garnish it off, and of course a sprig of rosemary. I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know if you try it out.
For my drink, I made this Holly Jolly citrus cocktail from the Half Baked Harvest blog. It is 2 ounces of chilled vodka, 1/2 ounce of Saint Germain elderflower liqueur, 1/3 cup of fresh squeezed clementine or blood orange juice, topped off with some ginger beer. Stir it together. Garnish with pomegranate seeds and some fresh herbs.
You guys have beautiful looking cocktails. I had a garnish, but I don't have proper champagne glasses, so it didn't really work, but it still left its essence, its thymy, herby essence.
All of my pomegranate seeds are in the bottom, so it's not very aesthetic. It just looks like orange juice, but I promise it's not. What's your least favorite thing about being an influencer/content creator?
I think for me, one of the hardest parts is also one of like the most fun parts as well, and that's being super vulnerable and sharing a lot of parts of your life with complete strangers on the internet. And sometimes that can be a little scary because you open yourself up to criticism and judgment, but I also think it's one of the best things because I also have the gift of being able to connect with strangers on the internet about things. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a balance. There's great parts about it, but then it's also like you're very vulnerable at times, and that can be scary.
You want to know the part that I really hate about it? It's when when I go and I meet my friend's new boyfriend, or like, I don't know, some older person, and they're like, what do you do for a living? And I have to be like, I take videos of myself and I put them on the internet, and they're like, I'm sorry, what? A lot of people who don't understand what we do is an actual job that takes like a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and a lot of skill, is that they like try to disprove your skill, or they try to be like, well, I also do that too. Like, I also take pictures of my food, and you're like, okay, no, it's not the same thing, but that's awesome. They just try to negate everything you do as not being a real job. And it's just like, it's so frustrating because it comes up so often, like where people will just be like, what is that? Is that a real job? Like, how do you do that? And I like don't know how to explain it to people. It's weird.
Yeah, I still don't think my family knows fully what I do. I think they're so confused still about it. And to add on to that, I find it so frustrating that men, I think, in this industry are treated a lot differently than women. Like if a man is an influencer, which there are many of them, they call themselves entrepreneurs. That's how people perceive them, even though they're still content creators. They're still doing the same thing that women are doing. Maybe if you have a problem with a woman who talks about clothes or makeup or things like that, then maybe that's a you problem, not a, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, I feel that so strongly, Hannah, especially because so much of what I do is centered around food. And I think sometimes people in my life are like, why are you so obsessed with food or like coffee creamer or like whatever it is I happen to be talking about? And it's really hard to explain that my whole job and everything that I do is based around is trying to be helpful in some way. And it's not that we don't have our priorities straight or that that's all we care about or that our job is only that or easy, but people don't see that. And it's kind of what I was going to say too, is like a lot of times you're told that you should live your dream and you should follow your passions, but the fun part of that, the part that you imagine, is a small percentage of actually what goes into it. And I think sometimes it's hard to balance that, where you're staying true to like the reason that you started and what you love about it and the message that you're trying to convey, while also running a business a lot of times by yourself or with a small group of people. And it's just, it's not easy. It's a lot of, you know?
Yeah. And to touch on what you said earlier, it's a lot of internalized misogyny because this field is dominated by women. People tend to warp it and infantilize it and make it into this like silly thing that girls do. And it is a job, just like every other job. And it has a lot of internalized misogyny because it's a women-dominated field.
Agreed. Snaps all around, snaps all around.
Okay, what is your go-to vegan fast food order?
Okay, I just went on a road trip like a few months ago, so I have mine. I have eaten all of the fast food vegan options, and I find Del Taco to be superior to all. I think we know this probably from all of our taste tests, how excited I was about Del Taco.
That was one of our best videos. We have to link it down below. It is hilarious. Like, Hannah is so passionate and Nikki and I are like so invested. You gotta watch it.
But it gets better because they just came out with a Beyond Meat burrito. I think it's called like the Epic Cali Beyond Meat burrito. I don't know, I'll put it in the description box. But it's so freaking good because it has Beyond Meat, it has guacamole, rice, beans, pico, and then I think next time I get it, I'm gonna ask for extra rice because I like my proportions to be a certain way in burritos, and I just don't think they add enough rice. So that's a hot tip for you guys. Let me know if you try it. And you must get the fries, and you must eat them in the bag on the way home. Don't wait.
That was something that you were very firm on, and I agree, they're very good.
And you have to get the Del Scorcho. I think that's what it's called. Jesse, right? Del Scorcho? Del Scorcho hot sauce is the best. It's like the medium.
That's the best name I've ever heard for a sauce ever.
Right? They kill it.
Sounds really, really spicy though. Is it really spicy? Because I was going to say you don't like spicy. Okay.
I like spicy, but not like...
But not like, yeah.
I'm not at NISHA's level yet. I'm like a couple steps
Me
below.
neither, girl. She's a badass.
I think you have to grow up with Indian parents.
I was gonna say I have very white parents, very white Southern parents. So
I could not tell looking at you at all.
really,
This is such a hard question for me because I'm such a it depends kind of person. But if I had to narrow it down, when I think of fast food, the first thing I think of is a burger and fries, and it needs to be an Impossible Burger. That's my preference, and it needs to have a good melty vegan cheese. It needs to have mayo. Like, I need creamy with lots of pickled things, like a pickle obviously, and red onion to like balance it all. Actually, if I do get takeout food, like fast food style, I get veggie grilled nachos.
Those nachos are so
They're
freaking
so
I
good.
could
For
not
fast food
surprise.
nachos, they're delicious. Back in the day, I used to work at this place that was like pretty much like a Johnny Rockets style place. And obviously there were french fries and like all the sauces. And my whole thing is I just want all the sauces. So I want ranch, I want barbecue, I want now obviously vegan versions, but I want like the honey mustard, I want the spicy, I want the barbecue, like everything. And I like choices.
My favorite fast food would have to be Chipotle, but I feel like that's not even a fast food. But I'm going to give you my Chipotle order. So, burrito. I highly recommend trying it out, double wrapped. Get 2 tortillas. So good. It changes the whole texture and flavor and like the frustration of eating a poorly wrapped burrito, which sometimes Chipotle, you are not keeping up your end of the deal, okay?
It's a lot of filling for very little tort.
So many toppings, and I like a lot of filling, and I want a big burrito. So double layers of tortilla, both rices, both beans. They don't charge you extra if you add both. Fajita veggies, sometimes sofritas if I'm feeling like it. Then I do corn salsa, spicy salsa, lettuce, guac. That's it. That's my favorite thing. And then I like to get, this is so silly, but I like to get their chips. I like to open the burrito, put the chips inside, and have a little crunch. I love the regular bean burritos from Taco Bell, which have like literally nothing in it except like the like paper lettuce and the beans and the tomatoes. But like I love it. It's like they're tiny, just in your mouth. So good.
I'm mad at them for taking potatoes off the menu, so I'm not even going to mention their names.
I feel like they're doing this on purpose just
To bring it back,
oh my god, I would love that.
but they want to like hype it up. They're trying to like, they know people are going to be upset, and so then they're going to bring it back and make it all hyped, and then they know all the vegans are going to go rush to Taco Bell. Genius.
That is the kind of 2020 conspiracy I am here for.
Next question is, how has work from home been for you individually, and how has it affected the direction/plans for the Vegan View in 2021? It's sucked. We don't like this. Oh, yeah, I don't know. This sucked. We've been trying to just adjust the best way we can. We also like made a collective decision to really steer away from like more serious topics just because one, people weren't really watching them, and we bring people on because we really do want to give people platforms to share their voice and share important things. But two, a lot of people's mental health has been drastically, including ours, affected by this whole situation. So we've been trying to do like a lot of taste tests, give you something nice and bright and fun and kind of just like a hangout sesh, something very like social. And so we've been doing that kind of vibe. Hopefully in 2021, we'll be able to get back together again and start doing some different kinds of content. But for now, you have this.
Next question is, what's your go-to vegan dish to bring to a party to impress non-vegans?
Okay, so usually for me, it's 2 different things. If I'm going somewhere, it will be a pasta dish, and usually it's a baked mac and cheese because it's the kind of thing that is really saucy and salty, and I feel like no matter whether you're vegan or not vegan, like people like really creamy, saucy things. And then it's the kind of thing too where you can pop it back in the oven so it's piping hot and fresh and kind of bubbling and crispy on top, even if it's already been baked. So that's a really good thing to bring. But if I'm having people over, or if I'm going just to like a friend who's close by, a nacho tray bake. Like all the nachos, and then I'll just do the toppings really quickly when I get there. But nachos are so easy to make vegan nowadays because you can either make a cashew cheese or you can buy them. Like even Target has the queso. They have a couple different quesos, which is really awesome. And it's just the kind of thing where people love nachos, and it's a great thing to share. It's like, who doesn't love nachos, right? That's my thing.
If I'm going to a party where they want me to bring a dish, I'll do my buffalo jackfruit dip that we have in a video. I'll link down below. That one I have brought to parties and literally just shoved it onto the table with all the non-vegan food as well, and not told people that it's vegan. And I'll have people being like, who made this dip? What is in this? What's this dip? And they love it. So I know that it's like non-vegan approved, and yeah, it's just really easy to prepare too. You just throw it all in a pan, mix it up, pop it in the oven to heat it up, and it's always a hit. Usually if I'm going to a party, I'll bring like a vegan cheese, because a lot of times if you're going to like a wine night or a party, they'll have like a cheese board or things like that. And so I always like to bring my own vegan cheese, maybe some crackers, maybe a couple different cheeses. But I love the Miyoko's double cream chive. I feel like that's one that's hands down always a hit with non-vegans.
I don't know. Okay. One that I get asked about like all the time that I had at my birthday party like a while ago is barbecue jackfruit sliders. I'll bring it in like a crock pot, and people love, people love it. And it's like, no one asks me, oh, is it vegan? Like, this is vegan. Like, it looks like pulled pork, and it is so hearty and delicious. Like, everyone had like 2 big sandwiches each, or else I get like little rolls, and everyone will have like just the little sliders. If I'm having people over during the daytime, I love to make like chai and like an Indian dish. I love a pakora and a chai together if I'm having people over for like a little brunch. And then, pasta salad. I make a pasta salad with a lemon Dijon vinaigrette, and it's super salty and tangy. And I put Kalamata olives and cherry tomatoes. Sometimes I'll put like little cornichon in it. It's like a really tangy, like almost Mediterranean tasting one. I don't have a recipe for it, but people love pasta salad, especially when it's like really salty and savory. It's really good cold and at a party. The best thing with pasta salad is like dress it before you chill it, and then bring extra dressing to pour over when you get to the party, so it's like glossy. I want pasta salad now. You guys want to hear a silly story? Okay, you know how much I love chickpeas, right? I have those like giant cans, like the industrial sized cans of the Eden Food garbanzo beans. They're so good. When COVID started happening, I immediately had this thought because they weren't available in stores, and guys, I like cried. I was like, I need my chickpeas. So I ordered 20 of them from the manufacturer. Went through them less than a month. So one of mine has to be chickpeas. I can't think of anything else at the moment. Cauliflower buffalo wings and nachos.
That was literally what I was gonna say. Those were my top 3.
Really?
I was like, oh shoes, she said chickpeas. I gotta think of something else.
Oh my.
Chickpeas, buffalo cauliflower, and pasta. Doesn't matter what kind, just some kind of noodle. I need a noodle in my life.
Yeah, gotta have a little nude.
Gotta have a nude.
Nudes are important.
So mine would definitely be hummus, which is related to chickpeas, but different because I'm an individual. No, but I really genuinely love hummus, and I consider it a staple because not only can you use it as a dip, but also a sandwich spread, and I use it for dressings a lot as well. Or if I have like a veggie Buddha bowl kind of thing, it's just so versatile. So if I was on a desert island, I would need the most versatile possible food, right? Plus it's high protein, fiber, fat. Like, what else do you need?
It's the perfect food, y'all.
I just imagine that we're all on the same desert island and we like erect a flag that is like just plain white, and then it has like this muted beige chickpea. Mine would definitely be hummus. Coffee. Sorry.
That's not allowed.
Wait, did you just name one thing? That whole thing was one.
Right. Hummus. I just said food. I thought it was
Who says coffee when you're talking about food?
oatmeal, coffee, and hummus. That's what I want on the island.
No coffee. You have to pick a new one.
Not
Okay.
food.
Okay.
That's a drug. Hummus, oatmeal.
Nut butter. Any kind. I need it.
What kind of nut butter? I want to know.
If I had to pick one forever and ever and ever, it would be peanut butter. It would be the kind of peanut butter that is the dark roasted Santa Cruz peanut butter, where it is dark roasted peanuts, so they're super, super peanutty. And then that's the only ingredient other than sea salt. So it's like nice and salty. It's delicious on its own. Also delicious on other things that I would like forage, like some kind of berries to make like a sad desert island PB&J. I would make it happen.
Do you think I could forage for nachos? Because I wanted to add that one.
I just enjoy that you brought up foraging into the discussion.
We're on a desert island. We have to survive.
We would have such a good time foraging together. Last question. Are you ready? Where do you go? Let me do that again. Where do you go / what do you do when you run out of ideas for meals to make?
Chipotle.
Jesse and I will just go to the grocery store and be like, have you ever made something with Swiss chard? All right, let's make something with Swiss chard. This is Swiss chard.
I think I misunderstood the question because I thought that this was like, what do you do when you don't want to think about food? If I'm like looking to be inspired for food, I actually like go through cookbooks and like old purple carrots, and I go on Pinterest sometimes, but I don't always follow the recipes on Pinterest because I don't trust them. I'll try to find them on YouTube instead. But mostly like cookbooks and purple carrot if I need like a fresh, zesty idea. I actually really enjoy thumbing through my cookbooks.
Definitely cookbooks for sure. But then I also try to think about what I loved eating as a kid, and then also my heritage. So I think about, the foods I grew up eating, the foods my grandma always made, and it's always really challenging to make those vegan. So that can be kind of like a fun way to shake up my routine, is to think of it that way. I also love transitioning the way I eat with the season. So that's a really good way to keep it from getting boring. So it's like I'll go to the grocery store and I'll see what's in season, and then I'll look up, like if it's springtime and there's lots of asparagus and green peas and stuff, I'll Google asparagus recipes until I find something that looks really interesting, and I'll go off of that. So I use the farmer's market and the grocery store and what's in season as like a starting point, and then go from there.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. Check out everything in the description box down below. Don't forget that we have a limited stock of mugs left, so if you are interested, go check that out. We will link that in the description box. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Check out our individual channels as well. Join our Facebook group, and we will see you next week for another episode. Bye.
Bye.
NISHA.